Yeah, so basically, if you get up onto the simulator, Charlie, like you
Yeah.
did with the previous video,
Yeah.
yeah, I just need to maybe move my out of the way. Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, that's ideal. Right, so the next lesson we do have boots and joppers on, mate. Yeah,
Yeah.
perfect. It just helps. It's just So the video that you sent me, obviously, it was more for the video for the setup of the video, which is obviously what we've got here, which is good. I can see kind of the horse's head, and I can see the whole profile of the horse, the so-called horse. So that's good. So what we'll do is we'll just have a look at your posture now, and basically you can't see yourself, so I want to be able to see what you think is your best posture via a kinesthetic kind of style. So it's a feel style. Obviously you can't do it visually because you can't see yourself, and this is like being on the gallop, riding at home. So if you get into your ideal posture, imagine cantering up the all-weather, and you just want to look neat and tidy. If you get up, and when you're happy with what you think's good, let me know.
Is it that?
Yeah, okay. So normally I would take a picture of that, which I can take a screenshot, I suppose. We'll just try doing that. Okay, I've done that. Okay, if you sit back down, so normally I would get you to look at that, but we can't do that really. So what I'm looking at there is we need to straighten out your back. Now, we want to be relaxed on a horse, definitely, but we also want to be nice and tight. We don't want to be too loose. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the first stage that I'll work on with you is just getting your posture correct, which is real basic. Let's walk before we can run. A little bit boring, but once we get you into the correct posture, okay, I want you then to do that numerous times or stay in that posture for as long as you can. And then what happens there is it's a muscle memory thing, and it's spacious repetition. The more you do something correctly, unconsciously, it's just pardon?
Becomes a habit.
That's it, exactly that. But unfortunately, the subconscious doesn't care if it's a bad habit or a good habit, hence why a lot of us have bad habits. So when we do something repetitively, okay, we need to do it correctly. Practice makes perfect. No, it's perfect practice makes perfect. So we need to correct that posture. It's not too bad, mate. To be fair, it's not too bad. And really impressed with the horse. You did that yourself?
Yeah, I built it out of small pallets.
Yeah, good man, good man. So let's get this posture then. So if we just try, so see how you're sat now. Okay, you can't see yourself, but your back. Can you see my face?
Yeah.
Yeah, your back is very much like that. That's it. So it's like me sat here now. I got my face actually disappeared, so I can't see exactly what I'm doing. But I'm sat similar because it's a bad habit. We need to have our shoulders back and have a nice strong back. So if anything, it wants to be on a concave. Does that make sense? Now you're not used to doing that clearly because you were sat like this. So when you're sat like that, that's how we need to be when you're up over the horse. Okay, so let's just try and work on that one point first. So up you get. That's it. Now think of that posture you had. So yep. Roll your shoulders forward and your chest out. That's better, like that. Now come lower down with your shoulders. Lower, lower, lower. And see if you can just come back a little bit. Lower. Drop. Okay, so stay there. So it's a lot better. Now you still got that arch going on. So try and breathe. That's it. Just like that. Hold. Hold right there, mate. Hold right there. Brilliant. Now I'd love to be able to take a picture. So hang fire, because that's a good position. So hold that position now. I'm going to just save the previous picture I took. There. So just hold fire, mate. So save that. Save and call posture 1. Just hold fire, pal. Charlie. Posi 1. Boom. Save. Save. right? So you're just losing it a little bit. So that's it. That's it. Roll the chest, roll the shoulders back and chest out. More chest out. It's working for you. That's it. That's better. And so let me just take a picture of that. So that's a lot better. Let's just see if we can get it better than that, because you had it better to start off with. So again, chest out. That's it. And let's just drop those hands a little bit. Just slightly, and roll them in a bit. No, let's have the hands where they were. Sorry, my fault. Hands where they were. So further up, my fault. I'm just trying to... And roll those hands round more like a set of handlebars. Look at me. Round here, this way more. Yeah. This way more. Yeah, that's better. Slightly. Right, let's see if we work on that back. So chest out. Chest out like that. Hold there. Hold there. Look forward. And hold there. So that's better. Print screen. Hold there, mate. Hold there. Hold there. And let's just see if we can get that, because sometimes it doesn't always print. I want to make sure I get it before going on to the next thing. So that's good. We can save that. Save. And we call that Charlie Posture 2. Because what I need to show you is the improvement. And once you see your improvement, you gain confidence. And then it's a nice round, it's a nice circle. Do you know what I mean? A nice, progressive circle where you just, you're getting better and better each time. So that posture there is probably 5 times better than the original one. So we need to have you in that posture. That's it, sit down, that's fine. We need to have you in that posture as much as possible. Because then what happens, so how old are you, Charlie?
16.
16, right, so you can't drive a car. So you ride a bike?
Moped.
Oh, that's perfect. So when you started off riding that moped, even though they are very straightforward, I mean, maybe a better example would be a bicycle. Can you remember when you first started to try to learn to ride a bicycle?
Not very straight, and yeah.
Yeah, so think about it. So when you started off learning to ride a bicycle, you had to think, oh my God, balance, steering, possibly gears. Now you get on a bike right now and you would get on there, you wouldn't consciously think what you're doing, would you?
No,
You would just get on and do it because you're working on your subconscious. So with this muscle memory, working on this technical posture, because I'm a technical coach, but the mindset does come into it with why we do what we do and, how we do what we do. So I'm telling you why you do what you do, and I'll tell you how to change it. So the more you do it correctly, it then impresses into your subconscious, okay, as long as you do it a lot of times. And then when we do it next week or the week after, you'll be getting up onto that horse and doing it automatically. Yeah, at the moment you're having to think about it. When we're in a race, when we're in any competition, we haven't got time to actually think, really. We need to be doing it subconsciously. Bang. Because we maybe need to be thinking of other things.
Yeah, because like when you start riding, it's always what you have to kind of think.
Yeah.
And when you do it now, you're going to just do it.
That's exactly that. But it doesn't happen overnight, so we just got to work on it. And that's why you have your elite athletes. They're very tunnel vision because they'll work on one thing and get that one thing correct, which might make their overall performance improve by 1%, possibly 2%. But if we can do 1%, if we can do 0.5%, then we increase and improve another part of your style, your performance, your whatever it is. We're going to get to 5%, we're going to get to 10%, and then we start seeing some nice results, don't we? Ah, hold on, cockerel. Right, so let's have you sat straight back, sat nice and straight, hands down. Yeah, so we're always working on that back posture. So imagine that's it like that. So as much as you're stiff, then try and relax your shoulders though. Yeah, so I can be stiff like this, but then I'm a bit too stiff. So then I can just relax. Yeah, so that's not too bad. So try and look straight forward. I know you're looking at me because I'm talking. There we go. So we've got a nice straight back going on there. That's the posture we want when you're up off the saddle. Okay? So the other thing I want to work on is your hands. I know it's a little bit difficult. Another thing is going to probably be hard because you've got a hole at the top of the neck there. But a set of reins would be brilliant, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I'm going to order some tonight.
Yeah.
And I'll put them on that.
Yeah, it's just so when I'm looking at your grip, Again, let me just put my face back up where I can see it. There we go. When I'm looking at your grip, I want you to be a bit more handlebar-y. Yeah? Not like this. Not like this, but more like this. Yeah, not like this, but more like this. Yeah, and with a set of reins, it's going to be a lot easier. Okay? Again, a small minor thing, but it just... You're like this at the moment, or even like this. So I want to round you off a little bit more. Does that make sense? Yeah?
Yeah.
Cool. Right, so let's work on that back again. Your back's gone back to being really hunched. That's it. That in itself, you know, if you're to say to yourself right now, I'm going to do 10 minutes a day or half an hour a day on my Equicizer, if you were just to sit in the correct posture and say to yourself, you know, I'm working on my back, I'm working on my back, that's going to improve you no end. Just that one thing. So when you're sat like you're sat there now, you need to be working on your back. There you go. See how your bum's gone into the saddle more. You're more in control. You've gone tighter straight away. You round that back, you've gone loose, and you're not as tight with the horse. Yeah, that makes sense, doesn't it? If you look at it like that. Yeah. So always work on that one thing. So that's the one thing. Well, that's one of the things that we're gonna work on until the next session. All right, is your back sat like that. So every time you're sat on the Equicizer, if you're slumping, I'm going to say back, 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 back.
If I sat watching TV or something, should I kind of
Yeah.
get in the habit of sitting up?
Absolutely. Perfect. That's exactly it. Spacious repetition. The more you can do it, the better. Okay, so working on that back and just try and come up into that posture. So the back's good there now. So let's see if we can either raise your bum a little bit or drop your shoulders so we can get a little bit more square. There we go. And now try and relax your shoulders a little bit. Better, better, better. Right, let's see if we can raise your bum a little bit. I want to get you a little bit more square. Now bring your chest out. There we go. Now, chest out. That's it. Now drop your shoulders slightly, keeping exactly the same. There we go. A little bit better. Bring your hands. So let me just get my face out the way. Right. So the screen's gone a bit blurry. So again, chest out. And then relax those shoulders. Right, that'll do for now. Then tuck your chin in a little bit now. We want to lead with the top of our head. Imagine diving into a pool. We don't dive in with our face forwards, but we dive in with the top of our head. So we want to lead with our head. And you'll find that everything comes in behind. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Now, obviously, I'm throwing lots of stuff at you. That's it. Sit down. But remember, sit straight. I'm throwing lots of stuff at you, so you're going to have to think of a lot of stuff, and that's fine. But if you can just pick up on one thing, and the one thing we're going to take away is working on strengthening your back. Okay? So, I'll tell you the plan going forward. We do stage 1, which is imagine a race from start to finish. Okay? And we break it up into 3 stages. The first stage is just getting your posture nice and tight and correct. I.e., maybe similar comparison to going up the all-weather, galloping at home. You're nice and relaxed, not doing a lot. Okay? Then halfway through the race, pardon?
Like a steady pace to start off.
Yeah, just nice and relaxed. You're not getting low, you're not niggling, you're not pulling on the horse ideally, you're just nice and relaxed. Okay, and in this example, you know, this horse isn't going to be pulling, he's a lovely, easy horse, easy ride. So we're going to, no excuse, we're going to sit like we were trying to sit there in that posture. Nice and neat, okay? That's the first stage. And to make that more kind of understandable and easier to learn, that's the first part of a race. The first part. Then we've got the middle part, the second part. And that's when, obviously, when you go to win your race, you're going to have to make headway. You're going to have to get tighter. It's going to be a little bit more intense on your muscles because you're going to have to start pushing a little bit. Up in the gears, as it were. But again, we're not going to do any movement. It's all going to be static again. But but we're going to just get that same posture as posture 1, and we're just going to get lower and tighter. Okay? But we're not going to go to stage 2 until we're really good with stage 1. Because when we go to stage 2, when we try and get lower and tighter, it becomes harder because there's less space. Okay? You don't need to remember this all. I'm just going to go over what we're going to do going ahead. Then the third stage is probably the exciting stage, but probably the hardest stage is the last part of the race, is the finish. And then what we do in the finish is we then start pushing and using our whip correctly. Does that make sense? But that's obviously, we're not ready for that yet. We're still on stage 1, working on the posture being correct, tight, but relaxed. So if we work on that back, being nice and straight, everything else comes in. Does that make sense? Any questions?
Because don't you keep your back straight throughout the race?
Yeah, I mean, look, when I'm talking about keeping your back like this, like a square, you don't see many jockeys with a flat back, especially jumping. But why I do that is because we're working on the correct muscles. So again, I'm sat like this. It's no good for my back muscles. Yeah? It's more comfortable, but I'm going to get a bad back. I should be sat like this, because that's the way we should be sat. Again, can you see that? Let me just open up that. You can't really see, but I should be sat upright, not like this. So the more we work on a square, nice flat back, two things are going to happen. One, you're going to get a stronger body, stronger core. Two, if you're like that in a race, that's good. Because if we weren't working on this, you'd probably be like this. Does that make sense? We don't need to be square, but when we're working in the so-called in the training arena, the academy, the gym, we can do that because the horse isn't messing about, and we can work on those muscles. If we're like that in a race, that's fine. You're going to be a lot tighter and a lot stronger. It's like, you know, if we did a goal setting session and I said, you know, what are your goals? You need to be reaching here. If you get here, happy days. But you probably wouldn't have got here if you weren't reaching here. Does that make sense? Yeah? So overall, you've got a good enough posture for us to work on. But let's have some joppers and boots, okay? And let's work on when you're up in that posture, you're not like this, but you bring your chest out. But when you bring your chest out, you're still a little bit upwards. So either bring your bum up or lower your shoulders. But at the same time, when you lower your shoulders, I can see, don't lower your shoulders and come round. Still have a relaxed space here between your shoulder and your neck. Don't be tense, because the first thing you want to do is tense up like this, yeah? And why don't we want to tense up like this? Is because then there's less room here for when we get to the third stage and we start pushing, but also it's just restricting as well up here. So that's stiff here. My back might be nice and straight, look, but if I can't see your neck, you're too stiff. We want to relax. And at the moment, your back's kind of like that, which is nice, but you're a little bit here. See my shoulder?
Yeah.
We want to be here. So it's roll the shoulders down. Don't have them up. Because obviously, you're trying to do two things. You're trying to be quite tense with your back, but also you then have to relax your shoulders, which is very hard when you haven't done that before, or you've not done that often enough. Does that make sense?
Yeah, because I haven't been in 5 months or so, and I broke my leg.
Right.
So I'm kind of getting back into things now.
Brilliant. And what exercises are you doing now we're in lockdown to have that core nice and strong? Because obviously if you're weak with your core, you're going to find it hard to get that posture up for a length of time.
My personal trainer's setting stuff, and I've been going out for a run most days.
Brilliant. And on those runs,
Yeah,
how far are you going?
only a mile at the moment.
Okay. Now, why I say that, it's irrelevant how far you go, kind of. But it's more when you come back from a run, obviously you've got to be careful. If you're coming back from a broken leg, you need that to heal. And I'm not an expert. My disclaimer is I'm not a personal trainer. But when you're all physically, well, and you've got no injuries as such, when you come back from a run, it's not how far you've gone, it's how much are you blowing. It's like lifting weights. If you're lifting little weights and you're going, yeah, Nick, that's fine, and you're not feeling any pressure or any tension in your muscles, you're not working them. If you're not coming back from your run and you're not blowing, what aren't you using? Your lungs. Yeah? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So just as a side tip, when you go running, as long as your legs are all good and you're not, obviously the doctor has said, look, you just need to walk and not run fast or whatever. That's not my my book. But if you're all fit and healthy and well, you need to be running and coming back. I don't care if you run for half a mile. Interval training. Do some sprints, steady. Sprints, steady. Then you start blowing. If you're blowing and feeling sick even, that's not a bad thing. Yeah?
Yeah.
Good? Any questions?
No.
With that neck, so does it spring down? Yeah?
Yeah.
So, because what we're going to do going forward is when we get to stage 3, okay, which is a while away, so don't worry, but I'm just trying to think ahead really. I want a nice tight hold of the reins. I don't want any loose, because as you know, or you should know, when you're riding a horse, it's about contact, holding the front end to the back end. A horse wants that confident feeling of having that bit. Not tight in the mouth, we don't want to be ripping their heads off, especially if a horse is keen, that's the opposite. But when we want a horse to go forward, we want a nice tight hold of the rein. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So I'm just thinking, can you do that with that neck? Can you do that with that neck? Can you hold it tight and still be in a position? Because I know it's not on a is it on a spring?
It's on an elastic band.
Yeah. We can work on that. Yeah, we can cross the bridge when we come to it anyway.
Yeah.
So go on then. Let's get up into that posture again. The more times you do it correctly, you shouldn't have less to alter. So that's not bad. Now we want to just either up the bum. That's it. Now bring your chest out. Chest out. That's better. So that's better there. That's good. Nice round with your hands. Yeah. Tuck that chin in. And do you understand about leading with the head? Do you understand about leading with the head? That's it. I know you want to see where you're going, but you can take a kind of a look up, a look down. But you want to be, when you're in that second stage of up in the gears, you don't want to be like this, do you? Can you dive into a pool?
Yeah.
Yeah, would you dive in like that? No, you dive in like that. That's exactly it. Right, don't lose the shape of your back. So you're losing the shape of your back again. So chest out. Maybe bring your hands, get a shorter hold of the reins so you've got more room between the elbow and the knee. And again, I can't show you that as I would normally on a coach's eye, but I can probably download this onto a coach's eye and do some more narrations of this and send it to you, Charlie. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what we're going to work on before the next session?
Keep his back straighter
Yeah.
and into a flat position.
Yeah, and just relax those shoulders so the back's nice and straight like that, but we're not like this. We're like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Choppers and boots.
Yeah.
And then we can do. I'll import this onto Coach's Eye. I'll send it to you. You look at the video. You go through what we've said. You video yourself again, because what you need to do is you need to get up into your position without seeing yourself. Video it, then go back and play it and say, "Oh, okay, Charlie, that's not so bad." You're talking to yourself.
Yeah.
Or I need to do this, and go back and correct it, because the worst thing that you could do is do something, every day until we have the next session, but you're doing it incorrectly. So you need to be aware of where you're at as you're doing it.
To kind of like self-assess myself
Yeah.
as I'm going, on video.
Definitely.
Needs
But-
to be done.
Yeah, but all I'm asking is to get into that perfect posture, be it a little bit like this, but we want no rolled shoulders, we want the shoulders relaxed, we want lots of room here, not like this. So we want this working on and a nice strong back.
Yeah.
That's all I'm asking. And to do that, work on those two things, and once you've got those two things within each half an hour session you're going to do, hold that posture for as long as you can.
Yeah.
Because as long as it's correct, hold it for as long as you can.
So would you try and jump on this every day?
You want to be doing that at least every day, but I'd sooner, it's like going to a golf range. There's no point going to a golf range and hitting 1,000 balls and doing a 9-iron, an 8-iron, a driver, and you come away going, I don't know what I really learnt there, but I spent an hour. I'd rather you do... Pardon?
Do you want to be learning?
Yeah.
The type?
I'd sooner you do 20 minutes, but 20 minutes of intense, correct training rather than an hour of here and there.
Yeah.
How you can do that correct training?
By filming and looking at it.
Reassessing, okay, I was wrong in that position. It's going to be quite hard to do because ideally you want a nice big mirror. Ideally you want someone who knows the correct position to stand there and say, okay, Charlie, yeah, that's right, you've got it. Hold it there. Yeah, but, that's down to you. I can't help you there. But what we can do is I can look at the videos that you send me until the next live session, and I can analyse and evaluate as we're going along. I mean, that might be the thing to do, is don't be frightened of sending me lots of videos, and then I can say, whoa, phone call, Charlie, look at this. This needs to change before you get into that bad habit.
Because like in an ideal world without lockdown, I would come and see you.
Of course you would. Yeah,
That'd be riding out.
yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And we can arrange for that as soon as this lockdown, gets lifted. Definitely. Right, let me import this into the video and analyse it. But before we do that, let's go another twice. So how you sat, look. Whoa, before you do anything, there we go. Sit correctly, looking forward, and we'll count 10 seconds. So no, sit down. Sit down. Hands down as if you're about to rise and trot. Look forward and sit there for 5. So we'll go 5, 4. Concentrate on the back. 4, 3, 2. Just take another picture of that. Hold it there. Take another picture of that. That's good. That is what we want to work on. That's the first thing you're working on. Okay? Can't do enough of that. Right. Second thing we're going to work on is that up off the saddle and over the horse. So away you go. So chest out. Better. That'll do for now. We'll hold that. Chest out. Roll those shoulders down. So now try and relax the shoulders. I know it's very hard to do the two. That's it. Look forward and hold that there. Chin in. Hold that there for 10. We'll go 10. We'll go 9. We'll go 8. Look ahead. 7. 6. 5. Go on, my son. You're doing well. 4. Think strong. Dig deep. 3. 2. Breathe. 1. Well done. Brilliant. Was that hurting?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's good. What did I say earlier? If it's hurting, it's working the correct muscles. Pardon?
If you're hurting, it's using like muscles.
Yeah, long as it's the correct muscles and long as it's the correct position. Yeah, definitely. Okay, mate, that was good. I'd rather keep these nice and short and sweet because I'm going to spend another 20 minutes analysing that and just commentating over it, maybe drawing the odd line or circle to explain it a little bit better. But you're going to watch this now because I'm recording it and I'll send it to you. Any questions, FaceTime me, not FaceTime me back while you can, but just text me if you've got any questions.
Okay.
And go forward every day, twice a day if you want, but in small bits are better than long bits and kind of not practicing as well. And we'll set up another session.
Okay.
Yeah.
You
All right, mate. Take care.
and you.
Bye bye.